Today, it's been 3 weeks since we last checked in. Anything happen? This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. After a relaxing break from being behind the news desk, we're back with all the stories you've missed from the last 3 weeks.
I didn't look back any further than 1 week.
That would have made the joke better, but we were off for 3 weeks. If we don't empty the news bucket, it's going to overflow.
I wasn't going to stick my hand down to the bottom of the bucket. Who knows what's growing down there?
Well, I'm not emptying it. It's not my turn.
You were the one who wanted to keep a checkpoint in the first place.
We'll talk about this after the news. It's console release season again, which means that we, like the cicada, get to undergo a ritual that only happens every 7 years or so. In our case, trying and failing to buy one of the new consoles. With the new Xboxes and the PlayStation 5 launching barely more than a week apart, it's been yet another release window full of online shopping errors, crashed websites, and eBay scalpers. And unsurprisingly, a big factor into why starts with a G and ends with a global pandemic. COVID-19 has been sticking its horrible little corona into all aspects of the gaming industry, and as you might suspect, it's been affecting production and distribution of new consoles in a big way. Shipping the consoles for launch day actually went fairly well, if people were lucky enough to have gotten an online pre-order and didn't end up in GameStop page refresh hell. But even then, according to Sony, they had more PS5s ready for release than they had PS4s back when that console had an awful launch, and it still wasn't enough. Because it's not just pure numbers of units produced, it's also that there are more people that want a new console, and that would be true without the pandemic. With the pandemic, you've got a population who are spending more time cooped up at home, if they're doing their job, and really want some new toys or just to feel something. And previously, even when online ordering was as utterly catastrophic as it's been this cycle, you could generally luck out and nab your own console by waiting in lineups in person at a retail store, which is also not possible now. So, why is this console launch such a disaster like always? Because they can't make enough consoles, because too many people want them, and both of those are unusually amplified by this horrible virus. The good news is there's basically no games yet, so just chill out.
Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity was just released, and it is already the best-selling game of all time in the Warriors series. That's right, no Musou game has ever sold as well as Hyrule Warriors, and it's only been out for a week, which finally and definitively proves what I've been saying all along, that Legend of Zelda resonates with the collected population of Earth more than Mobile Suit Gundam. Streamers around the world were getting banned from Twitch for playing the new Hyrule Warriors game on release day. While it may be due to the new game being leaked online days before the official release date, and thus Nintendo taking stringent action to punish people who may have gotten it through illicit means, the more likely hypothesis is that Twitch started handing out 48-hour bans to streamers who live in countries that wake up earlier than the USA because Twitch forgot time zones exist. I wouldn't think this is Nintendo's fault, though, because they are certainly aware that there are other countries in the world. In fact, look at how courteous they've been to Switzerland, a country where German, French, and Italian are all official languages. They sure as hell didn't do that for Canada, instead ignoring our proud chunk of pseudo-France by giving Quebec a quick middle finger with an English-only front cover. In fact, Quebec getting English covers has been a trend for years now, which makes me wonder, much like how weeaboos of old learned Japanese to watch blurry VHS tapes of Char's Counterattack, are the Quebecois teaching themselves English just to play video games? We may never know.
And now for my favorite part of the news, reading the patch notes. Today's game is Crusader Kings 3, a game I do not play, and frankly, based purely on the patch notes for the game's recent 1.2 update, I don't understand how anyone can play it. I cannot fathom the game where all of these things happen and matter. Because sure, there are fairly normal things, like reduced the overall effectiveness of light cavalry in the main phase of combat, or Robert I of France now correctly belongs to House Robertine instead of House Capet. And there are stranger things like no beard is now the top option in the barbershop, or cats and dogs now live a bit longer, appear slightly less often, and trigger events less frequently. But then, there's also a ton of stuff like this. Characters are no longer angry at their new friends. Charlemagne is now lustful. Compassionate characters are now told that blackmailing people is stressful. Fixed, a child's favorite toy crashing the entire game. Spouses and lovers will only act as your wingman if they're okay with you bedding someone else. You can no longer see two versions of your bored daughter sitting under a pavilion. You will no longer call people vile as a friendly greeting. The Cucumber King is no longer unintentionally a kinslayer due to a wrongly assigned father. It is now easier to divorce openly incestuous spouses. My favorite, intelligent women no longer confront their pregnant lesbian lover to ask if they are the father of that child. Stupid women, however, still have a chance to ask that question. And the winner of the 2020 Mood Award, you cannot confide in friends you do not have. It's absolutely staggering that this game doesn't just collapse in on itself under the weight of holy wars and incest.
Square Enix took a look around their empty offices and decided they liked the peace and quiet. So on December the 1st, they're starting a program that will permanently allow people to work from home, stagger their starting hours, and generally not have to come into the office every day if they're in the mood to work in the nude. Square Enix came to this conclusion by, shocker, just asking their employees if they'd like to stay home, and 80% of responses came back with, "Are you kidding me? I have the option to shit at home on my own space-age toilet? Sign me up!" Workers will still have to come in a couple of days per week, but at least that's 3 extra days you don't have to wake up early, prep a lunch, or commute. And think of all the extra time you'll have at home to just lazily indulge in whatever the Square Enix equivalent of Animal Crossing is. It's the bouncer, right? I think it's the bouncer.
Okay, I'm rooting around in the bottom of the news bucket, and you're right, it's all awful. Fortnite is adding a subscription service.
Isn't that already what the Battle Pass is?
Yeah, this is more expensive, but also includes that.
Are they planning on billing us once per fortnight?
A bunch of less than awesome YouTubers and streamers are getting mad views by cracking open old boxes of 1990s Pokemon cards that are worth thousands of dollars now.
You know that if you could do that with old Magic sets, you would.
I feel very attacked.
Then declare your blockers.
And Bungie sunsetted a whole bunch of stuff from Destiny 2 and didn't add very much back in, so now players are annoyed at the lack of content.
A lack of content in Destiny? You're scraping the bottom now.
Yeah, my hand is stuck.
Coming up, a Super Mario Bros. 3 cartridge in untouched mint condition sold for $156,000, proving that not playing a video game pays way better than actually playing a video game. You were right all along, Mom.
Don't worry, everybody. There's nothing in the bucket. I didn't actually have to get news all over my hands. Can you imagine? I don't think I have enough sanitizer.
I can't wait to have to dig in through that bucket when we're doing CheckPoint. If we are doing CheckPoint, I think, still, right? Okay, good. We have a virtual bucket for all of that.
Oh, good, yes.
Yeah.
Fridays at time on Twitch.
The same time we recorded? No, a little earlier than when we recorded this. Now use that information to figure out the logic puzzle I've just given you.
Godspeed. Production.
Good time.